All right, class, the codes. So, this are the basic codes that you need in order to have the robot to go forward. Anytime you want the robot to go forward, you have to put in motor, type in 0, a comma, and then the 100. The 100 or 90 or 85 is the power, the amount of power that you want to go through the robot. The 0 and the 3 represent the two ports that the robot is plugged into. Now, I know on the virtual robot you don't see where they're actually plugged in, but those are the ports. And the 100 represents the power. Again, you can have the robot go at the 100% speed or power, or 90 or 300 or whatever. Now, before you do that, before it'll actually go, you actually need to do a code called mSleep, and you put in the milliseconds in the mSleep. mSleep 3000 means that the robot will now go forward for 3 seconds. It's important that you do not put a comma in that 3000 because it will actually, you will see an error. Okay. So, pseudocode is when you see the two slashes and then you write notes for yourself. So pseudocodes are notes for yourself. And it's important to do that when you have a lot of code so that you can figure out where your turn left is, where your turn right is, where you go forward, and all of those things. Some ways for you to actually turn the robot. So one way to turn is to turn off one motor. So you can turn off motor 0 and you can do 0, comma 0 and leave motor 3 on and it'll turn left or right. You can have one motor going forward and one motor going backwards. The way to have the robot go backward is to put a negative sign in front of the power. The last way, or one of the last ways that I'm showing you, is you can slow one motor down. So you can have one motor at 20% power and one motor at 100% power, and that robot will do a slight turn. Other codes that you need to know. The servos. Now that we're starting to use the arms, you need to enable the servos. Now, when you enable the servos, and that's this top code, when you enable the servos, the parentheses are blank. You leave the parentheses blank. This is the equivalent of turning a light switch on that powers all the electricity in the room. This is basically turning that light switch on and saying these plugs are now available to be used. So once you set the servo position, then that's when you put the port and the position. So the port is 0. The position can anywhere be from 0, where it's touching the mat, or 500, where the arm is straight, or it can be back in the up position, which is 1024 on the virtual robot. Again, you need some sleep time. This is time for the robot to actually do the action. So when you put the sleep in, it can be 100, 1000, 3000, however long or however many milliseconds you want it to be. And then last but not least, you need to make sure you turn off that light switch. So you want to disable the servos. And this is again pseudocode, which tells you to turn all the servos off. I hope this helped you. And if you'll look, I'll have another video where I'm actually using the robot. But this one is to just go over the codes. I hope this helped you learn the codes.